And welcome back to BothEndsOfTheCourt.com podcast. I'm Dude LeBron.
I'm Dude Kobe.
And here we are to talk about the NBA this week. So where do we want to start?
Oh, let's get the garbage out of the way first, unfortunately.
The Sixers, or are we talking about someone else?
Not quite. Maybe not quite that bad. No.
You're talking about the Sixers of the West.
The Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. That is my team, I'll have you know. And I will always be a fan, but yikes.
Oh my god.
Where do you even start? How do you help this team?
Put Kobe as the sixth man and let him try and get that award. Like, that's the one thing he's missing for his career, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can he be that sixth player of the year?
He's down to 30 minutes a game, and it hasn't helped his performance at all.
That's right. He hasn't gone to as many practices.
Hasn't helped. He hasn't played in every game. He's been sitting a couple of games here and there. Nothing is helping his game. Nothing. However, I think that something could help his game if he had a coach or a friend or a murderously angry fan or somebody with the guts to tell him. Me and Dude LeBron were looking through his stats earlier, and his stats are not good. There's nothing good about his stats. However, the glaring weakness in his game right now, as everybody knows, including him, is the three-point shot. Is it not?
It is. He's shooting 3 extra threes and making none of them.
Compared to his
career. He's shooting about 30%?
Less? No, that 30% is from the field.
Sorry. Oh.
It's like 19%.
Okay, that's right. It's like 1 for 7. You can do the math.
1 point something for 7.
So I guess he just needs to shoot less, but how can you tell a shooting guard to shoot less?
Well, here's the thing. From everywhere else, from the two, his shooting still isn't great, but it's somewhere in the 40s. You can live with that.
That's right.
You're not happy about it, but you're not losing games because of that every single game either. If he were willing to be I'll take 1 3 a game when I'm wide open. Because his free throw is still there. He's shooting very well from the free throw line.
It's hard to take that away.
It is. Until someone just stops playing basketball altogether, if they could shoot free throws, they will always shoot. So it's not a problem with his shot, I don't think. Anyways, the mechanics of his shot look the same that they've always looked. The problem, to me at least, is that he is old and he has no legs. His legs are in the same state as Peyton Manning's arm.
Oh.
Awesome talent.
Right.
But at some point, you're so old, you've played too much, and you should stop jacking up threes.
So if he stops jacking up threes, is there a void that can be filled by his team, or are they just also that bad?
No. I think that Jordan Clarkson, even Nick Young, he's made fun of all the time, he's shooting well.
He is.
So Jordan Clarkson's shooting awesome. Give Russell some more minutes. If Kobe was willing to drop down to 24, 25 minutes, take 1 or 2 threes a game, they're not going to be a playoff team, but they won't be this laughing stock either. They'll win several more games. Give the young guys room to learn their game. This just doesn't make any sense. And Kobe Bryant he's never ever been as I'm worried about my legacy as a guy like LeBron, who it looks like every single decision he ever makes is based off of, in 30 years when people look back, what's my legacy going to look like? And I'm not knocking that at all. That's just a different mentality of the game.
And the media has a lot to do with
and
that.
And they do.
They've been following him forever.
Kobe is more of a guy who's like, well, to heck with the media. I don't care what anybody thinks about my legacy. I just want to go out and shoot and have fun and win games and win championships. That's what he thinks. However, he has failed to realize that what he's doing right now is never going to win a championship. Is never going to win a game. If they win a game, it's despite Kobe Bryant right now.
Ooh. Damn,
and this is coming from a huge fan. I think he is possibly, and go ahead and destroy me in the comments if you wish, I think he is probably, in my opinion at least, the most talented basketball player that there's ever been. Ever.
You just got destroyed.
Go ahead.
I'll destroy it.
Go ahead right now if you will. But we can get into that. My point is, I don't think he gives a crap about his legacy. And so right now that's hurting him because he has thick skin. It doesn't bug him when fans are angry and things like that.
I know, and he's even playing in Los Angeles, which it's not like that's one of the biggest teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet it kills Lakers fans to know that the Clippers are the team that's talked about right now.
Yep. Oh yeah. You read the comments anywhere. But 24 to 25 minutes for Kobe.
Okay.
1 to 2 threes per game for Kobe Bryant. And they are back to being a respectable team. I think that's all it takes. And it's never, they're not going to be a good team. I'm not saying that. But they will not be embarrassed either. And I don't think that his game has dropped off so far in the other aspects of the game that he would be embarrassed by his... I don't know if Kobe gets embarrassed about anything. But if those two adjustments, and that's what I would do for an immediate, what can the Lakers do right now?
So are you kind of hoping that he gets hurt again and just retires in Christmas?
I never would hope that a guy gets hurt.
Right.
But I hope that something can change his mind. And I don't know what that is because Byron Scott is an idiot. You know.
well, he's no Jackson or what? Jackman, right?
No. He's just, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll get into that some other day.
So let's swing to the other team that's doing super good, the Warriors. Why are they doing so good?
Well, you know, when we looked through the schedule at the beginning of the season, first thing we noticed was all the weird back-to-backs against the same team.
Right.
But when I looked at the Warriors in specific, it looked like their beginning to the season was a really rough schedule. They were supposed to play the Clippers twice. They were supposed to play Houston, Memphis, New Orleans, East or Western Conference playoff teams to start the season. Like
back to back.
5 games in a row.
Right.
And then after a couple more games, starting now, they're going on a 7-game road trip. So anyone looking at the Warriors' season to start, as far as their schedule goes, was like, oh, they're not getting a break.
No.
But Memphis to a point, the Clippers to a point, and then the Rockets especially, and New Orleans, wow, have not showed up this season.
And that's like all they've played.
And that's the majority of their games so far. And so, majority or at least half of their games or something that people expected to be the hard part of their schedule has ended up not being. And yes, the Clippers were right in those games. They were winning for much of those games, and then the Warriors went on their run. But still, the Warriors have breezed through the season so far and weren't expected to.
Yeah, and like they don't even play San Antonio till January.
The end of January.
And
the next best team in the league right now is San Antonio, and they're months away still. And Cleveland isn't until Christmas.
Until Christmas, which is another month away.
Yep.
So I mean, like kudos to the Warriors. You've been playing great.
They have historically great.
I like their teams that they played. I just don't think that they really gave them that shot.
Yeah, as hard as we expected them to, certainly.
I mean, especially the Pelicans. I thought that would have been a mismatch nightmare. And then, like, they go overtime with Brooklyn. So, I mean, I get the schedule has played some factor. It's not 100% the reason why they've won everything.
They've been the best team in the league with the best player in the league all season so far.
So, prediction?
On this road trip.
On this road trip, how many times are they going to lose? And to who?
7-game road trip. They've won 17 in a row.
Right.
It starts at Sacramento. I know they're playing Utah in there. They're playing Indiana in there.
I think Sacramento's at home, but then they go to Utah.
Okay.
Okay. But Sacramento's the team I picked last week.
It is. I picked Chicago, and that didn't happen. I'm going to go with one loss on this road trip.
Okay.
At Indiana.
Oh.
I think, man,
that's like your favorite team besides the Lakers.
I love Indiana, man.
Okay.
And they're playing out of their minds right now. They're 10 of 12 in their last 12 games.
Yeah.
Paul George has played as an MVP contender so far through the season.
He's fun to watch.
He is. His athleticism's back. I've said that a million times. I was worried that with an injury that nasty, it would be full 2 seasons before he was back to full athleticism, but no. He's he must have worked his tail off in rehab. I can't even imagine what he went through.
So I'm going to go with 2.
2 losses?
2 losses, because it just will rattle some of those guys. I know that they're so strong, but you have to lose something sometime.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Utah and Toronto.
Okay. Hey, Toronto played them as tough as anyone has so far.
And I can see Indiana, but I think they'll still win that game.
Okay.
But I think it'll be those 2. And then final prediction, which happens first? Sixers win or Golden State loses?
Golden State. I think it's going to be a while before the Sixers win the game. I really do. Even though they took it to the Rockets, man.
They lost by 2. So that's why I'm going with the Sixers on this one.
Okay.
You can't lose. Well, you've lost 27 straight, including last season. Someone's not going to show up like the Rockets. And
not everyone has a James Harden who can just drop 50 to bail you out.
And I can't remember that one guy, but he had like LeBron James numbers for the Sixers. I mean, James Harden had to score 50, but
You talking about Covington?
I think so. I can find out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Covington. I mean, 28 points. He kept them in there. He had 8 steals. And James Harden had 9 turnovers, even though he had 50 points. But
there's always that to be the little bit.
That's why I think the Sixers are going to do it, even though I predict that Sacramento is going to win tonight. But I still think the Sixers, just because I have that much faith that they can pull it off.
Okay. So you're thinking the Sixers aren't quite as bad as the Warriors are good.
Right.
Okay.
So they're going to do that first.
Okay.
I mean, they almost did.
Right.
I was hoping for it, especially against the Rockets, because that would have just been funny.
Oh, Rockets, man.
Okay.
Oh, what is their... I don't even want to know.
They're just awful.
All right, last thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
I want you to give me a projection for the Cavaliers and for the career of LeBron James up through his retirement. And I think that for a guy, even as smart of a basketball player as he is, he's always relied on athleticism.
Right.
Heavily. I mean, he is an absolute bull. He's, 31?
Something like that.
Something like that. But he's about 70 in basketball years.
Especially with how much he's played. Like, what is it? How many straight finals? Like 5? We lost count.
5 straight
4
finals.
with the Heat and then 1 with the Cavs.
And he'd been to the finals before that, too.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's always playing with the international team. It's just...
That's coming up
the national team, rather. Yeah, it is. I'm excited for that, too. Should be good. Anyway...
just put the Warriors out, right?
Oh, no kidding, man. That wouldn't even be right.
Like LeBron is like, please, can I join? They're like, we'll let what's his name, Barnes take your spot. Oh, okay, sure.
Anyway, my question is, how much longer can LeBron be a annual MVP threat kind of guy when he's played so much basketball? I think, I'm not the only one in saying this, it looks like his athleticism peaked with his last year with the Heat. Not his talent, but his athleticism peaked. And that I'm not saying he's careening down.
Right.
He's certainly not. He's still a dominant athlete. But I do not think he will get any more athletic, and I think he will continue to get a slightly less athletic as the next couple of years go by. And that hurts anybody, even a world talent like him.
So, this is what I think about LeBron. I mean, yeah, I can see that he's not doing the crazy alley-oops that he used to do, but I think part of it is he's playing smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he realizes that he can get layups and not have to
Dunk.
worry about getting hit on a fast break dunk.
Yep. That's something Blake Griffin has talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's how much energy it takes to do those just earth-shattering dunks.
I mean, like, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that only a few people can do, and I bet it just tests them to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think LeBron will stay around for quite a while, or until he gets a bad injury.
Okay.
Because he's old enough that something like what happened to Paul George, would probably just wreck his life.
Yeah.
And like I know he has the work ethic to come back if he wanted to, but then at that point, I mean, why not just go out? I mean, Michael Jordan did something similar.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
he's just so good that I mean, he's at least top 10 all time.
You agree with me that Kobe Bryant and LeBron James are the best two players since Michael Jordan?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Kobe Bryant's last healthy season, he was still an absolutely dominant player. The injuries hit him, and he's a shell. He's a nothing player.
But I mean, I can still see LeBron putting up what he's doing for at least 5 more years.
5 more years.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Kobe did.
Well, you know, you got a point.
I mean, like, I just see LeBron being very intelligent. And he's just one of those guys that's, 6'8", 250?
Yeah, he's massive.
That is a matchup nightmare for so many people. I mean, he's going to get his 30, 10, and 10 averages for a long time.
30, 10, and 10?
38 and 8. I mean, it's something high.
It is. No, he's got spectacular stats for sure.
I mean,
30, 10, and 10 would be something.
I just don't see something like holding him back unless it's an injury.
Okay.
So right now, Curry obviously is the MVP. But then LeBron, I think, is still number 2. Same with Paul George. Kevin Durant, if he ever plays.
Yeah.
But, like, he's just one of those guys that's been around that has no equal.
So, here's a question that you won't like my answer. How many titles will the Cavaliers win before LeBron James retires?
I'm going with 1.
1 title. Okay.
And that's because I see the competition in the West being that Achilles heel to the Cavs. Because as we learned last year, or against, last year and his last year in the Heat, he can't do it all by himself, and he had to both of those years. If the Cavs get a team healthy to the finals, I think they'll win 1. But I think they can only do that once.
Okay.
I just don't see poor Kyrie or Kevin Love sticking around healthy enough to keep him up. Don't you?
I don't know. It's hard to say with those two guys.
I think he'll win 1. Do you?
I mean, obviously, all of this is just projection. We can't have any idea.
I mean, this year they're playing like they could beat the Warriors, and we'll see that in Christmas Day, which will be a great finals preview.
I hope that's a good game, man.
Oh man,
it seems like those Christmas Day games are either like the best games of the season or a total bust. And I hope that is a good game, because if it's as much as I want to see the Cavaliers crash and burn, I don't want to see that game just be a blowout either direction. I want to see a good game where both teams have to dig deep and I don't know. I hope that's a good game.
Shots,
something, or at least where it's close, so you can learn things from it. Because in a blowout, you just don't learn much.
No.
Anyway, I do not think that LeBron is going to win any more titles in his career, at least in Cleveland. And if he were to leave Cleveland, he would be destroyed beyond all.
Yeah, I don't think
he'll never do that. Of course, he'll never do that. But I don't think even his reputation could survive that. But I don't think so for 2 reasons. One, what you said. I think that even though this year especially it's looked like the East has just surged back into contention with the West, the top teams in the West I still think are better than the top teams in the East. If you took Golden State and Cleveland, Golden State's better. I don't think there's any question to that. If you took San Antonio and Bulls or Indiana or Miami, San Antonio's better. So I just think that the top of the West is still better than the top of the East, which makes it hard on whatever team comes out of the East. The other problem is, and I'll say this, if the Cavaliers are going to win a title, it's going to be this year.
Okay.
I don't think that they'll win after that because
I thought so too.
Because I think that the other East teams will catch them up. I really do. I know you don't agree with that. But because Miami is a seasoned veteran team built for the playoffs. Last year they got derailed by injuries almost as badly as Cleveland did,
Right.
which it just sucked for the East last year. The injuries did, but they're back. They look great.
Yes.
They have some young talent to keep them fresh, but then those veteran guys who are still performing at a high level. Dwayne Wade looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
Which
is surprising.
I was a little surprised by that because his health has always been a question, and now that he's forced to take on a much larger load again, I thought he would fall apart, but he's looked great.
Like, I feel like if Dwayne Wade was playing like he does now, like the last year of LeBron, he would have stayed there.
Yeah.
I think he kind of left because he's like, yeah, everyone's like dying on me.
Yeah. But Indiana, they'll just get better and better. And Paul George is significantly younger than LeBron.
Fair enough.
And the Bulls, I don't know that the Bulls are going to be getting any better, although
they're like they hit and miss, right?
They are. And Jimmy Butler is going to get better and better, and he's going to become their superstar, their guy. So if those three teams stay together, Toronto has young talent. I just think that the East teams are going to stop making the playoffs so easy for LeBron's team.
Yeah,
he's
true.
been breezing through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs every year for like a decade, and that's an exaggeration.
Right.
But
that's because they had LeBron. Okay.
No, it's not. I think that will end this year, and that always makes it tougher. The teams that come out of the West are brutalized by the time they come out.
Right.
No, they're torn apart, and I know that people stupidly were like, "Oh, the Warriors didn't have to face the Clippers or San Antonio," and I'm like, the Warriors would have just beat the Clippers or San Antonio then instead of Memphis and Houston.
Right.
But regardless,
I did want to see the Spurs though.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And I didn't really care so much about the Rockets or the Clippers. But the Spurs,
that series would have
just to see if the Spurs would have handed off like the next title to the next team, you know.
Yeah, but that would have been cool. Anyway, for those 2 reasons, the top of the West being so dominant, and then the bottom of the East catching up quickly to the top of the East, I think that the Cavaliers need to win this year, and I don't think they're going to. I just don't. I think that the Warriors are so much better than every other team in the league that I unless someone else beats the Warriors, like the Spurs. But even then, the Spurs know how to play LeBron's teams. It's not like they're so much better than him, but they have a very good strategy and history,
a good coach.
And a good coach, and Kawhi Leonard to play LeBron James.
That is at the level like that can defend LeBron.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know,
if
man.
they didn't have Kawhi, I don't think.
No, if they didn't have Kawhi, they'd have to double team LeBron, and they'd get torn apart.
Right.
But he is an equalizer on those perimeter offensive guys. He's in my opinion, he is a top 2 or 3 player in the league right now.
He's doing it right now.
Unbelievably good. I should have named him earlier when we were talking about MVP guys right now. He is just amazing.
So, what happens when LeBron leaves the Cavs? They'll never win a title. That is my prediction.
Ever.
Because you look at Cleveland sports teams, and I think they're on a 50-year drought plus, 50-year plus drought of any major sports championship. LeBron is their only guy.
Yeah.
And once he leaves, I feel like everyone else leaves, and you have the same black hole you had when he left the first time.
Ouch. But true.
Very true.
Yeah, so I don't see them winning, and that's not just because I don't like them or something. I look at the talent on the other teams, and I would not ever pick Cleveland as the title contender, despite what Las Vegas says every year.
Right.
They just seem to follow LeBron around and pick him.
So will you at least give me this, that they're going to be in the finals?
No.
Because you know they are.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that Golden State's going to be in the finals, and they're way better than Cleveland right now.
Well, that's because I think if the Spurs meet them...
Yeah, that's me too,
okay,
though.
So let's do that. Golden State and Spurs versus either the Cavs or who? Who's going to beat them? Do you know they're in the conference finals?
Yeah,
Is it going to be the Pacers?
I wish I could say the Pacers.
Bulls?
I don't think the Pacers will sustain the level of play that they're doing right now.
And you do admit, if it's not the Cavs, then the West wins the championship no matter what, right? Do you think that?
If the Warriors or Spurs are in the finals, they will win no matter what.
Oh.
I don't care who it is. If any other team comes out of the West, I would pick the Cavs over them. Absolutely. And I wouldn't, and I don't know. But that's what I'm going with. That's, my end of November prediction. It looks easy now to say something like that, but
it's going to happen without any injuries. Right now, that's what it would be. I know it. All right. So, do we have anything else?
That's
or are we
it.
just going
That's
to
all
wait
I've
for the
got.
Sacramento game?
Yeah, we got to start doing that. If any of you have any ideas for us, we've been wanting to do like a commentary during a game, just a live commentary. So if you have any ideas of how that would be funnest for you guys, just let us know. You can email us, you can put it in the comments, however you want. But for today, I think we're good to go.
So signing off, we're BothEndsOfTheCourt.com. I'm Dude LeBron.
Dude Kobe.
And we're out.